We've been reading A Course in Miracles, one of the most amazing spiritual writings of our time, published in 1976 after a gestation period of about 11 years. We'll talk more about it at some point, about the history, but right now we've been reading through the text, and we've been reading chapter 12, which is the Holy Spirit's curriculum, and this is section 2, the way to remember God. Here we go. Miracles are merely the translation of denial into truth. If to love oneself is to heal oneself, those who are sick do not love themselves. Therefore, they are asking for the love that would heal them, but which they are denying to themselves. If they knew the truth about themselves, they would not be sick. The task of the miracle worker thus becomes to deny the denial of truth. The sick must heal themselves, for the truth is in them. Yet having obscured it, the light in another mind must shine into theirs, because that light is theirs. The light in them shines as brightly regardless of the density of the fog that obscures it. If you give no power to the fog to obscure the light, it has none, for it has power only if the Son of God gives power to it. He must himself withdraw that power, remembering that all power is of God. You can remember this for all the sonship. Do not allow your brother not to remember, for his forgetfulness is yours. But your remembering is his, for God cannot be remembered alone. This is what you have forgotten. To perceive the healing of your brother as the healing of yourself is thus the way to remember God. For you forgot your brothers with him, and God's answer to your forgetting is but the way to remember. Perceive in sickness but another call for love, and offer your brother what he believes he cannot offer himself. Whatever the sickness, there is but one remedy. You will be made whole as you make whole, for to perceive in sickness the appeal for health is to recognize in hatred the call for love. And to give a brother what he really wants is to offer it unto yourself, for your Father wills you to know your brother as yourself. Answer his call for love, and yours is answered. Healing is the love of Christ for his Father and for himself. Remember what was said about the frightening perceptions of little children, which terrify them because they do not understand them. If they ask for enlightenment and accept it, their fears vanish. But if they hide their nightmares, they will keep them. It is easy to help an uncertain child, for he recognizes that he does not understand what his perceptions mean. Yet you believe that you do understand yours. Little child, you are hiding your head under the cover of the heavy blankets you have laid upon yourself. You are hiding your nightmares in the darkness of your own false certainty and refusing to open your eyes and look at them. Let us not save nightmares, for they are not fitting offerings for Christ, and so they are not fit gifts for you. Take off the covers and look at what you are afraid of. Only the anticipation will frighten you, for the reality of nothingness cannot be frightening. Let us not delay this, for your dream of hatred will not leave you without help, and help is here. Learn to be quiet in the midst of turmoil, for quietness is the end of strife, and this is the journey to peace. Look straight at every image that rises to delay you, for the goal is inevitable because it is eternal. The goal of love is but your right, and it belongs to you despite your dreams. You still want what God wills, and no nightmare can defeat a child of God in his purpose. For your purpose was given you by God, and you must accomplish it because it is his will. Awake and remember your purpose, for it is your will to do so. What has been accomplished for you must be yours. Do not let your hatred stand in the way of love, for nothing can withstand the love of Christ for his Father or his Father's love for him. A little while and you will see me, for I am not hidden because you are hiding. I will awaken you as surely as I awakened myself, for I awoke for you. In my resurrection is your release. Our mission is to escape from crucifixion, not from redemption. Trust in my help, for I did not walk alone, and I will walk with you as our Father walked with me. Do you not know that I walked with him in peace? And does not that mean that peace goes with us on the journey? There is no fear in perfect love. We will but be making perfect to you what is already perfect in you. You do not fear the unknown, but the known. You will not fail in your mission because I did not fail in mine. Give me but a little trust in the name of the complete trust I have in you, and we will easily accomplish the goal of perfection together. For perfection is and cannot be denied. To deny the denial of perfection is not so difficult as to deny truth, and what we can accomplish together will be believed when you see it as accomplished. You who have tried to banish love have not succeeded, but you who choose to banish fear must succeed. The Lord is with you, but you know it not. Yet your Redeemer liveth and abideth in you in the peace out of which he was created. Would you not exchange this awareness for the awareness of fear? When we have overcome fear, not by hiding it, not by minimizing it, and not by denying its full import in any way, this is what you will really see. You cannot lay aside the obstacles to real vision without looking upon them, for to lay aside means to judge against. If you will look, the Holy Spirit will judge, and he will judge truly. Yet he cannot shine away what you have kept hidden, what you keep hidden, for you have not offered it to him, and he cannot take it from you. We are therefore embarking on an organized, well-structured, and carefully planned program aimed at learning how to offer the Holy Spirit everything you do not want. He knows what to do with it. You do not understand how to use what he knows. Whatever is given him that is not of God is gone. Yet you must look at it yourself in perfect willingness, for otherwise his knowledge remains useless to you. Surely he will not fail to help you, since help is his only purpose. Do you not have greater reason for fearing the world as you perceive it than for looking at the cause of fear and letting it go forever? Okay. This is the Holy Spirit's curriculum. This is the name of this chapter, chapter 12. And this is the way to remember God. So Jesus is telling you how to remember God. He says different things here. Some things that are quite memorable, like you have to deny the denial of truth. You have to deny fear. You have to deny the ego. You have to see the perfection of your brother, the wholeness of your brother in order to see yours. There's no other way to do it than to do that. And that is what we have forgotten, and that is what we need to learn to remember, because we have forgotten it. So we need to learn to remember that our brother is us. And so when we fail to see the perfection in our brother, the wholeness in our brother, and that means any other, not just a person, not just a brother, but a sister or an animal or an insect or anything and everything. There's no one that is outside the pale of this. There's no untouchables or outcasts. Everyone is included in this message. Everyone is our equal. Everyone is your equal. So that's one thing. Another thing, Jesus says here at the end, which is really clear. He says, we're therefore embarking on an organized, well-structured, and carefully planned program aimed at learning how to offer the Holy Spirit everything you do not want. So this course is very well-structured, well-planned. And also, Jesus says a lot of other things about it. It's simple. He's offering a very simple My yoke is easy. It's a very simple teaching if you can just stay open to it and trust that this is coming from perfect love, from a place of unconditional love. Part of the problem is that we don't trust anything. There's the ambivalence that we feel towards everything. One moment we trust, and the next moment we don't trust. And we waver back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all the time. That's the way our minds are. We hardly ever can maintain a consistent thought about anything, or an unambivalent thought about anything. We keep going back into our doubt, into our fear. You who have tried to banish love have not succeeded. Love is still there. Love is eternal. The love of God is eternal. It has never changed. Only the fog, as Jesus says earlier, only the fog obscures it. The fog of our judgments, of our ego mind, has obscured the light, has obscured the sun, or the clouds have obscured the sun. The sun is always shining. The sun has never stopped shining. The sun can never stop shining, will never stop shining. This is not the physical sun, obviously. Scientists will tell us that all stars will at some point burn out. But this is the sun. This is the sun behind the sun. This is the light of God. The light and love of God will never change. It's eternal. Would you not exchange this awareness for the awareness of fear? When we have overcome fear, not by hiding it, not by minimizing it, and not by denying its full import in any way. This is also a very important statement that touches upon something that Jesus said right from the very beginning, which is, we're denying the denial of truth, but we're not denying the power of the ego. This is not spiritual bypassing. It's very important to point that out here. This is not a course in spiritual bypassing. This is not a course that just tells you to sweep it all under the rug. That just say, "Oh, I'm not fearful. I don't have any fear. I don't have any trust issues. I don't have any." It all goes back to fear, really. It all goes back to the feeling of separation, which is the ego's whole game, is to keep that separation going forever and ever. But it can't do that, because it doesn't do anything forever and ever. Only God does, only God creates forever, the eternal. The ego cannot do that. So the ego will burn out at a certain point. That's when we start to wake up and we start to say, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be another way. And so the course is presenting the other way, the only way. It's really, it says it's only one way of thousands of possible, of valid paths. But it's really also the only way, which is for those, well, let's just say that for those who are, finding their way to the course, it is the way. For you who are on the outs with traditional religion, on the outs with Christianity, on the outs with, most other forms of religion, the course is presenting another way. Many Christians that have lost their faith in Christianity, they don't see any other kind of alternative except to not believe in what they believed in. But this is even presenting something for those who become agnostics or atheists. It's presenting. It's going even deeper and saying, well, when you look at it, you do want joy. When you look at it, you do want unconditional love. And and nothing in the world really can help you find that except a true teaching that makes it very clear and makes it very simple, and puts it right in your face and says, this is it. And the problem again is we do not trust it, because nothing can be that simple. Nothing, it's too good to be true, too simple and too clear cut to be the truth. And part of it is that it's actually really general teaching. It's just saying you can't get to God except through dealing with the feeling of separation that you have from your brother, from all others. When you start to see that feeling of separation, or when you are at least open to that the fear that you feel and the feeling of separateness is unreal, and when you start to do that work and you start to see the results of that work, you will be on your way home. You will be well on your way. You cannot lay aside the obstacles to real vision without looking at them, for to lay aside means to judge against. Again, that's the denial of truth. You have to judge against the ego. That's, if the Holy Spirit makes any judgment whatsoever, it's to judge against the ego, to deny the denial of truth. In doing that, the ego is dispelled, the ego dissolves, because you say, no, that's not true. You simply say, that's not true. Only love is real. Those thoughts of desperation and despair and dejection and depression and all the daunting D words you can think of, those are not real. Those are not true. I do not need to accept that. I do not need to suffer in any way. God does not will suffering, and if God does not will suffering, that is not my will either. Jesus keeps saying that again. Your will is God's will. You are no different than God. God's will is perfect joy for you. No suffering. There is no suffering in God, and therefore there does not need to be any suffering in you. That's an amazing, that is a mind-blowing idea right there. That's why this is so difficult, because it's very hard to accept that. It's very hard to accept that I do not need to accept suffering. I do not need to live in suffering. I do not need to be a martyr. I do not need to suffer in order to bring happiness to the world or to others or to myself. Rather, all I need to do is let go, to deny the denial of truth and let go of the ego thought system. As I let go of the ego thought system, I return to my natural state, which is joy, peace, love, total forgiveness. And I think that's good, for this section here. And thank you so much for listening. As always, I hope this was truly helpful, and I hope that you will, please feel free to leave a message or feedback. I would always appreciate that, and we're gonna keep it going, keeping this going until we go through the entire course, and then when we're done, we'll probably do it again, because this all bears repetition. To live in this world is to forget, and to engage with a teaching like this is to remember, but also remember that this is really a self-study course. No one can do it for you. Nothing I say is as good as your own study on your own engagement, let's say, with the course itself on your own, and practicing it on your own. Thank you. See you soon. Adios.